In this video, you will see my testimony and my personal experience covering this story, but also you're going to see nurses and doctors also giving their personal stories.
Uber, Lyft, going through the whole process, and you can see behind me, they have the testing facility. And they can
Hey, this is Henry Grullon, known as Henry Live, the investigative reporter here in New York City. And as I've been covering this story from day one, you see the breakdown of the numbers of deaths in each borough within New York City. And we see that it's a large number of cases in Queens, and then Brooklyn, and then following the others. We see the fire department showing it responded to 2,192 cases of deaths at home between March 20 of 2020 and April 5th of 2020, which turns out to be 130 per day at deaths at home. An average of 245 deaths per day compared to 20 to 25 deaths per day before the pandemic. And here we have these numbers from a reliable source from the medical examiner's office in New York City. Here you show a portable morgue here outside of a hospital, not too far from where I live at. And this shows the reality of these portable morgues outside of most of the city hospitals in New York City, where they cannot handle so many bodies that are being held in the hospitals, and now they have these portable morgues. We have here a nurse giving her account of what's happening.
This is what's going on in Bellevue. They're making portable morgues. This is my life. This is our life. We don't want to do this, but we have to. We're in this together.
For all those outside of New York City, and knowing that many people that I know that have covered this, including myself, this is a reality. These deaths are reality. I've been touched by my own family, friends that have had deaths in their family, and also people that are currently suffering right now. Incredible. This is what we're seeing in New York City. Please do not say this is just like the flu. The new phenomenon right now in the New York area is that they don't have enough funeral homes or funeral home directors to cover so many bodies. They're working endless hours to try to cover this. I've had one family that were desperate and had to look for a burial place in New Jersey, and that's even becoming hard.
We're running out of medications, we're running out of equipment, and we're even running out of oxygen, which is something that patients that have COVID-19 need.
You can think of it as your lungs being filled with fluid, like you're drowning. And once you get to that point where you're drowning, you need a ventilator to stay alive, and we're running out of that equipment for people. And we don't know who's going to do well, who's not going to do well. It's like you hit a tipping point, you start drowning, and you do really poorly, and we're running out of equipment in the hospital. Nearly everybody coming to the emergency department has this, and we're getting completely overwhelmed.
Say this, you are here, destroying every yoke. I worship you, I worship you, and you are here, setting the captives free. I worship you, yeah, Lord. For you are the way maker. say waymaker. Yeah. You are the promise king, light in the darkness. Oh my God, that is who you are. Hey, you are the way.
Here we see in the map of the 5 boroughs, and we see all the deaths, and obviously the COVID total numbers. But this is alarming as we see this, as the many deaths here in New York. It's really out of control. They don't have enough funeral directors. The funeral homes are at capacity, including the hospitals. The area you see here with an X is actually my area in dark purple, meaning that it's a large number of COVID-19 cases. Another alarming information that we see is that there are 7 kinds of corona strains. Some of them are harmless, but some of them are also dangerous. And that's what we're looking at here in New York specifically. And this is something that the experts are trying to grasp with. United States Comfort is here docked in New York, and we appreciate it so much. And the first responders, you see that they're there, the nurses, the doctors, medical staff. We also thank also the truck drivers that bring the food into this large city, and all the essential workers, the MTA workers, the TLC drivers that we have to give thanks for transporting so many of our doctors and nurses and patients back and forth to the hospitals.